On today's show, we explore how to turn a basic bucket list into a cinematic main character experience, filled with moments that feel like scenes, not just things you tick off. So grab your popcorn, get comfy, and start imagining your life on the big screen, because it's time to Movify your life, bucket list style. Welcome to the Movify Your Life show, the plot twist you've been waiting for. I'm your host, Jessica Grace Coleman, and through the Movify Your Life method, I'll show you how to step into the starring role of your story and create a life worth watching. Every Movify Monday, you'll learn how to turn everyday moments into unforgettable memories, activate your main character energy, and use cinematic tools to boldly chase your biggest dreams, like the movie star you truly are. Because when the credits roll, I want you to look back at your life like it's the greatest film ever made, full of meaning, magic, and most importantly, zero regrets. And because I truly believe everyone deserves to live an epic life fit for the big screen. So grab your popcorn, cue the music, and together, let's Movify your life. Hello, and welcome to the Movified Your Life show. I'm your host, Jessica Grace Coleman, and I hope you can hear me all right. I am in a different recording environment right now. I am cat sitting for a friend, and I'm in their office, and there is a fridge making some noise, and like a Dyson air thingy, purifier thingy. Not entirely sure what it is, but it's right behind me, and it's very nice. They're both making noises, so I'm hoping you can hear me okay. I am cat sitting, as I said. And I am very tired today due to several reasons that I will not go into. But you know, when you just have a couple of days, I think I'm just burnt out, honestly. I needed a few days away. I have my day job, which I do proofreading and editing, and then I am building Movify Your Life on the side. And it's a lot. It's a lot of hours every day, every week, every month, every year. And I think sometimes you just get to the point where you're just very, very, very tired. So I'm hoping I'm going to make sense today. I've got my cup of tea. I've got the kitty wandering around somewhere. If you hear a little bell, that's the cat. And today I want to talk about a bucket list, but not just a bucket list, a movified bucket list. And I have a bucket list. I have quite some random things on there. Like for years I had go on a Segway on there, and I could have done that so easily. But for some reason I didn't get around to it. Until my brother invited me on a Segway adventure, and then I got to tick that off. So there's like things like that. I also have a travel bucket list. So all the places I want to visit. And I think that's a great thing to have too. But I really like the idea of a movified bucket list because it gives you a sort of lens, a cinematic lens, if you will, to look at your bucket list through. And the idea is, as the idea of Movify Your Life in general is, to create an epic life that feels like an epic, uplifting, wonderful, incredible, adventurous movie. So the thing that triggered this idea for me was I was scrolling on social media on Instagram, as I often do, and I came across a post by the Savannah Bananas, and it only really works if you try and say it an American accent. Savannah Bananas. It doesn't quite work, as we say in the UK, but they're this baseball team in the US. Jesse Cole is the owner. He's the yellow tuxedo guy. If you know who he is, he always wears a banana yellow tuxedo, complete with top hat. He used to have a podcast called Business Done Differently, which I loved. He's got a couple books out. I've read them both and they're really cool. I love them. It's all about standing out, being bold, being different, doing something different. And yeah, he took over this baseball team. He named it the Bananas, Savannah Bananas. And everyone was like, what the hell? You're making this town a laughing stock, or the city a laughing stock. No one's going to come and watch something with like a banana logo as your team logo. No one's going to come and see a banana mascot. No one's going to want to wear Dolce and banana underwear, which I think they did. And he was like, no, they will, just give it time. And now there's this whole thing. They've invented banana ball. I think there's a few other teams playing banana ball, and they have proper baseball players, but they can also sing, dance. They do like break dancing. They have epic halftime shows. Everything is like a circus. Jesse Cole is really influenced by Disney and everything they create, and Walt Disney himself and the things he created. and circuses in general and all that just chaotic energy, just brilliant. Everything's different. Everything's yellow and banana-y. And I just love it. And you need to follow them on social media, even if you're not into baseball, because I'm not into baseball. I have gone to a few games. When I went to the University of Colorado, we went to a few, and I still don't understand the rules, I've got to say, but I would definitely go to a banana ball game. It's on my list, my bucket list, to go to a Savannah Bananas game. And the reel I watched was them recreating one of the songs from The Greatest Showman. Then it's like a sort of intro, and then it goes onto the field and they do the rest of the intro there. Singing, dancing, backflipping, circus stuff everywhere. It's just incredible. And I watched that reel and I was like, now it's definitely on my bucket list. What a great movified thing to do, to go to this game. You would feel like you were in a movie instantly because it's just so different and incredible and awe-inspiring, and everyone's having such a great time. You can feel that energy just through the screen, let alone when you're there. So I thought, okay, so maybe I should start a new bucket list, a movified bucket list. And it could incorporate my love of travel on my travel bucket list. It could incorporate the things I already have on my bucket list. And I could look at it through a movified lens. So I'm not going to tell you my entire movified bucket list, because that's mine. But I did want to give you ideas for your own and come up with a kind of framework so you can create your own movified bucket list. And like I say, one of them is go to a Savannah Bananas game for me. Another one is to go to a sporting event with Cameron Hughes. If you don't know him, he is the king of cheer. He's a professional, I don't think cheerleader is the right word, professional cheerer. They pay him to sit in the stands like a normal spectator at big sporting events. And then a certain song comes on and that's his cue. And then he gets up and dances. He usually has like 20 t-shirts on and he does this little dance where he takes off each t-shirt and throws them to people. And he just makes the crowd go crazy. He makes the atmosphere electric wherever he is. Look him up as well. He's got a book as well. I love his book. I think the book is called King of Cheer, Cameron Hughes. And he movifies a moment by making it feel like a scene out of a movie. So those are two things from my movified bucket list. I have talked about places I want to go. That's the travel part. But yeah, I won't go into details on mine, but I will tell you how to create yours. So yeah, I do love a bucket list, but most of them are kind of vague. They could be travel, like go to Italy. They could be learn a language, but like what language and when are you going to do it and why are you doing it? Try something new. That's great. But like we want to movify this. We want to be able to picture it clearly like a scene in a movie. And we want to feel like we're in a movie when we're doing these things and going to these places. So this is a bucket list with cinematic flair, main character energy, and moments that actually feel like you're in a movie when you're living them. So let's get into it, shall we? So I've sort of come up with 5 different categories, and some of them have a few different things in them. But the first one, because I'm a huge travel person, travel fan, this podcast used to be travel related. So the first one is cinematic travel, your on location moments. Now, instead of just listing places, I want you to actually just think about this and think, where could I go where life or, my trip would feel like a film, even if I just stood there and looked around. So these are places that just feel cinematic AF. And I've talked about this on the podcast before. Can't speak today. Let me just check what number that was. So travel you like, your inner movie destinations that feel cinematic AF is number 184. If you want to go back to that one. Another travel related show episode I did is 189, the movified approach to travel, why your favorite shows reveal what you're missing. And I also did one on set jetting, not jet setting, set jetting. What is this travel trend and how can you use it to movify your life? 165. So go and check those out if you're into travel. So this could be something really grand, like going to the Grand Canyon, like somewhere that looks epic and cinematic and just takes your breath away. I am lucky enough to have gone to the Grand Canyon and it does all those things and more. And it's just wonderful. It could be going to cute little New England towns that give full Gilmore Girls stars hollow energy, which I have talked about so much on this podcast. It's something I did in my Movimentary, which you can watch for free on YouTube, link in the show notes. I went and sort of created my own Gilmore Girls style adventure in Vermont. You could go to like the Amalfi Coast or something like that. Sunshine, romance, slow motion gelato moments. I don't know. Maybe the Scottish Highlands, somewhere really dramatic, windswept, moody. That Dartmoor could work with this as well. Something like that. The moors, somewhere that feels cinematic and like you could be riding around on a horse with a handsome man or a a lovely lady or whatever your preference is, looking out into the distance and just being cool. Maybe it's a cozy English village that feel like the UK segment of the holiday. Snowy cabin makes you feel like a Christmas movie. Maybe a desert landscape makes you feel like you've walked into Dune. Just places that feel cinematic and places that remind you of your favourite films and TV shows. I just posted a reel on Instagram. When I went to Paris, I visited outside apartment area with the fountain from Emily in Paris and the restaurant, Gabrielle's restaurant. And everyone was there. Loads of people were there for the same reason as I was. But it was just a really cute little place. And you could just imagine you were in an episode of Emily in Paris. So it could be something like that, which brings me on to the set jetting. So actual filming locations. So, I mean, if you're in New York, pretty much every street you go down, there's probably been something filmed there. But you could go to Central Park and like pretty much every rom-com ever made in New York, you'll be able to feel like you're in that as you're walking around. Several places might make you feel like you're in Game of Thrones, like actual filming locations. Dubrovnik, Northern Ireland, they filmed all over the place. Spain. As I say, go back and listen to my set jetting episode if you want more ideas. But number one, travel is all about places that make you feel cinematic, places that remind you of your favourite TV shows and films and make you feel like you're in them, and actual filming locations. So you can walk around and be like, oh my God, I'm like in this set. I'm in the movie. So that's number one on the Movified bucket list. And this is probably my longest one out of all of them. Number two is movie scene activities. So like moments you actually step into and you might feel like a scene, a specific scene, one scene from a movie or a film or a TV show. So they're not just things to do, they're things that make you feel like you are the main character in a scene and you can just imagine it on the big screen. So maybe it's watching a sunrise or a sunset somewhere beautiful with like the perfect soundtrack playing. Maybe it's going on a road trip with your friends somewhere epic. Like I drove around Sedona, Arizona when I went to Arizona last year and just having all these amazing red rock things popping up everywhere in the distance and then right next to you as you're driving around. It was just incredible. And again, when you have the perfect soundtrack playing, music is really important and we'll get to that in a bit. Dancing in the rain. Yes, it's iconic for a reason. And like I said, I had segwaying on my bucket list before I ever created a Movified bucket list. And then you might think, that doesn't really feel like a Movified thing. But I tell you, when I was whizzing through our local forest on a Segway, and it felt quite fast, it probably wasn't that fast compared to, driving or something, but it felt really fast. We were whizzing through the forest. It was raining and it just felt like I was in a scene in a movie. And I actually had the Jurassic Park theme song going around my head. And because we were quite far apart from each other, everyone else in the group, I did start singing it at one point out loud as I was going through the forest and I was having a lovely time and I felt like I was in a scene in a movie. It would probably be quite lame to watch it if you had, James Bond going not that fast on a Segway through a forest, dodging other people on the path and things like that. But it felt like I was in a movie and that's the main thing. You might have things like I mentioned, going to a Savannah Bananas game, going to a circus, going to something that really puts on a show, going to Disney. So many people love going to Disney, even as adults, even if you don't have kids, because it's so magical and it's immersive and you feel like you've stepped into a fairy tale, like a film. Or seeing Cameron Hughes, the Cheer King, live and just being part of that energy, like I mentioned. Maybe it's something like an open air cinema night under the stars. And that's obviously Movified for several reasons. You are actually watching a movie, but it also feels like something out of a movie, I think, like a rom-com or, when someone has a load of friends and they go and just sit outside under the stars, having a lovely time, watching a film or a show or whatever it may be. Maybe it's going to karaoke and you feel like you're in a karaoke montage in a film. Or maybe it's just going off by yourself for a solo main character day somewhere and just giving yourself time to be without anyone else needing anything from you. But just any activity you've always wanted to do that you think will make you feel like you're in a movie or just a scene from a movie. Like I say, it could be literally anything. It could be really, really epic things like skydiving, going on a helicopter ride, hot air ballooning, something adrenaline fueled. It could be something like running a marathon. Because when you cross that finish line, you are going to feel like you're in the final scene of an epic underdog movie, something like that. Or it could be something random, like segwaying, that you've always wanted to do and that just makes you feel something when you're doing it and you can imagine it as a scene in a movie. So number 3 is, I've kind of already talked about this, but soundtrack moments, because music is so important. It changes everything. It can change your mood in like several seconds. It can change the way you view something happening to you. It can trigger memories from past events and past good times. And if you intentionally pair the music with moments you're planning or moments you're having, then that just takes everything to the next level. So we could be looking at actual movie soundtracks here, like soundtracks you love from the films and TV shows you love, theme tunes, that kind of stuff, or just something that makes you feel epic and pumped up and like you're ready to go out there and achieve anything, like you're in a montage in a movie, like Eye of the Tiger or something obvious like that. Like something that you could imagine playing, or you could actually play yourself, like wearing headphones as you walk down the street like an absolute boss. Or you're walking on the way to your boss's office to ask for a raise or a promotion or to quit, like whatever you're doing. It could be your comeback song, your let's do this song, your healing song, your everything is finally working out song, your I'm finally going to do this thing song. And you can create your moments around this. So you could listen to a specific song as your plane takes off. You could create a summer playlist if you're going to have an epic summer trip or a summer full of events, a summer ticking off things off your Movified bucket list. But whatever it is, create a soundtrack that you will actually use and apply to these things on your list. Like I say, as you're actually doing them, when you're thinking about them, when you're planning them, so that in the future, those specific songs and soundtracks trigger those memories. And it's so evocative and so useful, so powerful music.
Okay, movie star, real talk. Are you tired of feeling like a background extra in your own life? Then it's time to step into the spotlight and activate your main character era. And I've got just the thing to help you do it. Grab my free Movie Star Alter Ego Starter Kit, your behind-the-scenes pass to creating the bold, brave, action-taking version of you who goes after their dreams like the star of a blockbuster. Inside, you'll discover how to design your alter ego, choose your transformational item, pick your theme song, and build the rituals and confidence cues you need to start living your life like the epic movie it was meant to be. So, if you're ready to rewrite your script, roll camera, and finally take the lead, head to movifyyourlife.com/free to download your free starter kit now. That's movifyyourlife.com/free. Your next scene starts today. And now, let's get back to the action.
Okay, I'm back. I just had to pause it a little bit there because had some urgent cat business to attend to. Lots of important meowing going on. Anyone else do that? Like a cat comes and meows at them and you just have a whole conversation and you're like, I wonder what I'm actually saying. Meow, meow, meow. I wonder what that means. Anyway, urgent meowing business dealt with. Let's get back to our Movified bucket list. So we're just talking about soundtracks. That was number 3. So number 4 is identity and alter ego experiences. Now, if you know anything about me and Movify Your Life, you'll know I'm obsessed with movie star alter egos. I have a free guide to help you come up with yours, which is really, really fun. You can get it by going to movifyyourlife.com/free. The link is in the show notes as well. And it's all about becoming the person you need to become to have an epic life. And we can take inspiration from our favorite films, TV shows, our favorite fictional characters to do that, to step into the shoes of the person we need to become. And it's usually just us amplified. It's not becoming a completely different person. We usually already have everything we need within us. It's just about bringing that out and getting some confidence to go and do the thing. So basically, we need to think, what would your alter ego put on their bucket list? So my movie star alter ego is Veronica Gilmore. Again, if you've watched my film on YouTube, you'll know all about this. I love the name Veronica. It was also the name of a fictional character in a book I wrote. I also write fiction and non-fiction books. Gilmore is from Gilmore Girls. I wanted to do a New England Gilmore Girls fall Hallmark extravaganza trip. And I love Lorelai Gilmore. I love her quick wit, how funny she is, how fun she is, how stylish, how confident, how independent, how she just goes and gets stuff done. So I was sort of trying to channel her when I was away on my solo trip and thinking, what would Lorelai Gilmore do? And becoming that person as part of my alter ego, Veronica Gilmore. So the first thing you need to do really is create your movie star alter ego. So I really, really recommend you go and do that. Again, that's Movify Your Life, Movify yourlife.com/free to get your guide. And then once you have your alter ego, like take a moment and think, what would your alter ego put on their Movified bucket list? So this could be something like going somewhere dressed fully as that version of you. That clothes and the things you wear and accessories are a big part of stepping into that alter ego. Maybe it's spending a day making decisions as your alter ego or as your future self, the person you want to be. Maybe it's like just going and booking something or doing something you would normally overthink, like a solo dinner, a solo trip, taking a new class, trying to make new friends and doing it in character, like just, Lorelai Gilmore wouldn't overthink something like a class she wanted to do for months. She would just go and book it and see what happened. You could have full themed days out based on your alter ego, or simply have something on your Movified bucket list that reminds you to show up as the confident version of you in a specific situation you are maybe not looking forward to or dreading. So this is less about ticking things off, but just reminding yourself who you want to be when you're doing all these things, and what kind of personality can help you get there and do all these things. And 5 is everyday magic, turning your life into a set. So as I say, a lot of the stuff on my list is travel related. It involves going places and doing new things. But what about your daily life? Because you don't actually have to go anywhere to start living a more cinematic life, to see your life through a more cinematic lens. This is about creating everyday moments that feel like scenes out of a movie. So you could decorate your home in a certain way. As you know, I love Gilmore Girls and Hallmark movies. So maybe I could turn my home into a cozy autumn film set. My room is actually very autumnal all year round because I love pumpkins and autumn stuff and fall stuff, leaves, all that good stuff. You could have a themed dinner night, either at home or going out. Italian romance, New York brunch, whatever vibe you want, whatever film or TV show you want to recreate in a meal. Lighting candles, putting music on. You could just make a random Tuesday feel like a scene from a movie. Instead of scrolling on your phone, you could create a rainy day montage. You could actually film yourself doing stuff, which is what I did for my Movie-mentary on YouTube, and edit it together. You could walk through your local area, but look at it from a new perspective. And I talked about this a lot in a recent episode, which is Your Town is a Movie Set, Seeing Your Life Through a Tourist's Eyes, which was actually last week's episode, 193. So you could do that, put your soundtrack on that you've come up with for your list, and wander around your local village, town, city, wherever you are, seeing it through a tourist's eyes or a new person's eyes, an alien's eyes, as I say in the episode, like you're seeing it for the first time. These aren't just places you live or pass through, they're part of your set. And when you start looking at them that way, you start thinking of all the amazing things you could do in that film set, in air quotes, to create a more movified, epic life. And when you start looking at things that way, everything changes. So write down some things on your list for local things you could do, local places you could go and look at through a new lens, local places you could go as your alter ego while listening to your soundtrack, while doing something cool, like mix them all together. And yeah, the last one is just a reminder that you don't have to go halfway around the world to create a movified scene in your life. So here's my homework for you. I don't want this to be overwhelming. So I don't want you to go away and write a 50-item bucket list you never look at again and feels far too overwhelming to ever get done. If you're that kind of person and you already have so many ideas, then great, go for that. But if not, I just want you to pick one thing from each category. So that's one place you want to travel to, one movified moment or activity you want to do, one soundtrack idea or song idea, one alter ego experience, and one everyday magic moment, and treat those 5 things like your season 1, as if you're in a TV show. Because it's not about doing everything, it's about getting started. And once you do those things, you can come up with more things. So instead of just having things on your bucket list, like go to France, eat a specific type of cheese, I don't know, my brain's not working, go to a ball game. It could be have my Eat, Pray, Love moment on the Amalfi Coast. By the way, a film was recommended to me on Netflix the other day. I haven't watched it yet, but it's called Eat, Pray, Bark. It has dogs in it and I cannot wait to watch it. Anyway, so yeah, it could be an Eat, Pray, Love moment somewhere. Either the eat bit, the pray bit, or the love bit, or just finding yourself. It could be dance in the rain like I'm in a rom-com. It could be go on a Segway in the forest and sing the Jurassic Park theme tune as you're going around. It could be spend a day as my alter ego. It could be doing a specific thing with a specific soundtrack in mind and then turning your ordinary life into a film set. And I love this idea of coming up with a fully movified bucket list because everything you do makes you feel like you're in a movie and makes life more epic and exciting and makes you feel like the main character, which is what Movify Your Life is all about. So why are we doing this? I love ticking things off a list, but we're not just here on this planet to tick things off a list. We're here to really have amazing experiences, to experience moments that feel meaningful, magical, memorable. You're here to create scenes worth remembering. So when you get to the end of your life and the credits start to roll, you have all these amazing memories. And what better way to go about creating them than to think of them in movified terms? So what's going on your movified bucket list? I would love to know. You can DM me on Instagram at Movify Your Life. You can email me at action@movifyyourlife.com. I would love to know all about it. And just go away, do that homework, and just think, what is your first scene going to be? And then go and do it. Because life is short and our bucket list should be movified. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you for listening. Please share this episode with anyone you think might love it. And until next Movify Monday, I will see you on the red carpet.
Thank you so much for listening to the Movify Your Life show. Before you go, don't forget to sign up for the main character memo mailing list at movifyyourlife.com/list for exclusive tips, treats, and behind the scenes magic. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would really appreciate it if you could please subscribe, leave a review, or share this podcast with a friend. Let's spread that Movify message far and wide, because everyone deserves to live an epic life fit for the big screen. I'll see you next week for another Movify Monday. Until then, that's a wrap.